Hi, this is Lawrence with A Punk with Toys, and today we're going to take a look at the Valaverse Actionverse Steel Brigade. Guess I should start here. The Steel Brigade. This is a new line. I'm not going to say it's meant to just compete with G.I. Joe, but it's also meant to go along with your G.I. Joes. I already did one review on Condor. Hopefully I can make this one a little bit shorter. This figure actually has a little bit less. But I'm going to talk about the things that I like and what I don't. So, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, follow the channel, and let's get into this review. So, up front, I'm going to say I'm going to try and do an honest review of this. And as I said in the last video, I've seen some other videos. I'm not sure how honest some of them are. And I don't know. Maybe it's the figures that I have. So, again, these figures are not mine. Someone actually lent them to me. He offered them because I wanted to see them. I wanted to have them in hand before I spent $32 on a figure or figures to see if I even liked them, if they'd go with the classified. So he said, hey, you know what? Why don't you do this? Why don't you take them, review them for your channel, then you decide if you want them. So I said, thank you. So you will see that I'm a little cautious with them because I don't want to break them and have to replace someone's figures because they're brittle. So, right off the bat, we've heard a bunch of stuff online about how, for the most part, these things are fine, and all the joints bend perfectly fine, and they're good, and this, and that, and that's all well and dandy, except for, I have to disagree 100%. 5 figures here, they were already open from my buddy. He had already tried to bend them a little bit, and he said, hey, I just did a little bit. I had to soak every single one of these figures in hot water. Now, that is not a big deal. But that is one of the things that people have been touting about, how pretty much right out the box, you're able to bend them. You might have to hit it with a blow dryer for a wrist joint or change the hand. For the most part, they're fine out the box. Absolutely incorrect with the 5 that I have here. And again, these were already ordered. These were already opened. He tried to move them a little bit. And again, these were sitting in my house, so it's not like I just pulled them right off, the FedEx truck. So anyway, that's the first thing you're gonna have to do. So again, like a NECA figure, soak these things in water. Now, I have not had the same issue with the Marvel Legends and the G.I. Joe Classified, and if you follow me on the channel, you realize Classified is really what I focus on, or G.I. Joe, shall I say. And I'm not saying I haven't had to warm some up, because that would be untrue too. But I will say this is a heavier plastic, and it seems like a more brittle plastic. To be honest, when you feel this actually feels more like the Storm Shadow Snake Eyes movie rather than the plastic that these G.I. Joes have. So let's take a look at him quickly. Oh wait, you know what? I didn't go to the box. So the box here. File card, Steel Brigade. Again, this is wonderful. I love the back panel here. It gives you the 6 figures for this line. This harkens back to our original G.I. Joes that we got in the 80s that we all loved. With a file card, I know people have complained about it, and I would be one of those people that I wish they would have given us a real file card. So Hasbro, if you're listening, and I think you may be doing something with this vintage line that's coming out, or retro 6-inch line that's coming out. So this is Steel Brigade. This was a G.I. Joe figure. So how he got the rights, if you're Steel Brigade, I don't know if he had to have the rights, if Steel Brigade was lost, but if you've seen him, Bobby Vala's videos, he's the owner of Valaverse. He's a huge Steel Brigade fan. He has like every single Steel Brigade, hundreds of them. It's kind of crazy. They also give you these, what are called action points, which, let's be honest, they're flag points. And flag points are always cool as a kid because, hey, you cut them out and you get free stuff. All right? So that's the back of it. Here's the side artwork. A lot like Classified, where they have this artwork on the side. And honestly, I really love this. One thing that's cool about Classified is that they have different artists do different art for each of the figures. Valaverse seems like they have the same artist or the same type of art. Now, the good thing with Classified is sometimes you get some wonderful ones, then you get some awful ones. I will say this, the side view, which looks like they're all done by the same artist. I have another one right here. Once again, I think all this art looks really nice. It's in black and white. So I think this looks really nice together. All right. And then here you get Action Force, and then you have your window that has your figures. So let's not waste any more time. Let's take a look at this figure. And we can, then I'll let you guys decide what you want to do. Again, I think I kind of forgot to go over this quickly, but you can get these at Valaverse.com. Series 1 is available. You can also pre-order them on Big Bad Toys. Dorkside also had them, from what I understand, but they were pre-ordered and they've already shipped theirs out, and now they're not even available. Like, they don't even show them on there. So I'm not sure if they're going to get any more, but as of right now, I just ordered some a couple days ago from Big Bad Toys, and it's obviously waiting on the pre-order. Valaverse says they do have them in stock right now. So let's take a look at the figure. All right, so here we have it, Steel Brigade. As I'll raise it again, we have the back, which gives the panel of different figures in this line. Again, harking back to G.I. Joe. And the file card, which I think is really cool. This here is just like the Steel Brigade for G.I. Joe. It's supposed to be you. So you decide what you want. So everything is classified, and then you have your action points. And again, you have your wonderful artwork, which I really do like. You have your open panel, but you would see the figure. Again, that is if you're an inbox collector, but hey, you know what? Why be an inbox collector? They're plastic. They're made to be played with. All right, a couple things here. Now, again, I didn't have the original Steel Brigade from G.I. Joe, but I remember as the mail away, I looked at it, so I'm not sure everything that came with it. But they include with this patch that you can sew on your jean jacket or wherever. And then you have this file card. And once again, you fill out your code name, your file name, your birthplace and everything, your background, your assessment, I'm assuming that's your specialty. Your fingerprint, don't put your fingerprint on there. Okay, don't do it. But I do believe he said that online you can do this, and I believe an actual file card can be printed up that way, which would actually be pretty cool. So that's what's kind of special about Steel Brigade. And what I'm going to do is the only Steel Brigade figure that I have. I'm going to just quickly look at the two, and you can obviously look at the faces, that the helmets are clearly inspired by the original. And again, if you follow anything on Valaverse with Bobby Vala, you will see that he definitely is a huge Steel Brigade fan. And even looking at the knee pads here, you can kind of see it looks like they are shaped very similar. Obviously, they're different, but they're similar. Even the vests look similar all the way around to the back here. So there is your quick look at the two side by side, and I won't be doing... Oh, sorry about that. Like I said, been sick. Kind of had a little coughing fit there. So I will not be doing much of a comparison of these figures because unlike the G.I. Joe figures that I've been comparing them, the originals, this really can't do a comparison because they're two different lines, two different companies and everything. So here we take a look at our Steel Brigade, and first off, he comes with this assault rifle with a grenade launcher. Again, it looks really nice. I have a whole thing. I actually have the pack from earlier. I forget what they were called right now. Sorry, mine's blank. But the pack full of weapons that they came out with. And then he has a sidearm that comes off, and again, same side piece, same side arm as Condor, same holder, and again, I will show you that in a minute. I think the sculpt is extremely nice. Let's raise this up. I think the face sculpt is really nice. This figure is going to fit in perfect, and this may be the best army builder for G.I. Joe Classified for the G.I. Joes. Obviously not for Cobra. There's so many army builders that you can use, and they're just pumping out more and more. You have 2 spots for magazines, and yes, they do come out. All right, so the magazines do come out, and slide back in, and they aren't the easiest to get in and out. But once they're in, they also won't fall out. So you carry these things up and down your steps, not going to have a problem. And so far, I will say this, the clips on some of these guns here, again, they do come out. They seem to be going better than the pack that I got, the original pack that they sent out. The vest does come off, and I'm not going to unclip it because, as I showed in the last video, Condor, and this was a complaint that someone had, I can't get this back on. I warmed it up. I actually took it off, popped it on, opened and closed it a couple times, had no luck. I just cannot get this thing to go back in. And it is something I do believe he said he is addressing. Someone said to use needle nose pliers without any grip on it, or some tweezers. I've tried the tweezers even when this was warm. I was not getting it back on. And again, these are not my figures, so I'm not going to force it and ruin someone else's figures. I have to replace them. Everything does come off. So, points of articulation. Now, let's see here. Again, this guy needs to be heated up. Every single one of these figures need to be soaked in water. And I would go with water because I think so many of his joints were stiff that just go with the water and then move them around. Once they're broken in, they seem to be fine. Now, I did point out on the last video, due to the straps here, it does affect some of the maneuverability, but do you really need to bend any more than that? I'm going to say no. It does have ankle rockers, then the boot cuts, and the leg cuts, and they do have drop-down hips. But I'll tell you what, I still feel weird pulling it down because it just is a tight fit. All these are pinless, so that is nice. Here's your elbow joints. They go up that far, so you get some good range here. But just like the G.I. Joe Classified, if even with the butterflies right here, just like with the Classified, if you want to cross their arms, the vest is in the way. So it doesn't matter if you really have these butterfly joints to go across. Yeah, they open up more here. But if I want butterfly, I want them to cross across. But you're not going to get that because of the vest. The heads do come off. I have not tried popping this one off. Now, they all use the same ball joint. I can actually pop the Condors off if you didn't see the last video. All right. So, and I will say this. Warm it up because I have an issue getting Condor's other head on it. So you're going to definitely want this thing heated up. All right. So after these things have been completely loosened up, you should be good to go. Get them in the position they want. Now here are a few of my gripes, I guess you could say. They come with these wonderful Action Force. This ones look like they're like steel grates. Pegs or stands. They got this little slot in the back, so if you cut out the file card, you can put them on here. But again, my issue is peg hole. Nice boot design on the bottom, but that's a real little concern of mine. Peg hole here, and you want to get this guy on here. You are pushing hard to the point that it worries me. Okay. And you can see they don't even go down all the way. So I took one of my other stands that I use. No issues at all. Taking a G.I. Joe, boom, pushing it down. No problem at all. But, so I tried moving the Action Force figure onto this, still had the same problem. So what it's saying is that the peg hole on the bottom of these are just too small. And that's unfortunate when you give me stands and I'm going to have to force them down to get it on there. Rather than, yeah, it should have a tight fit, because you obviously want the figure to be on there, but you don't want it to where it seems like it's pushing it on. So, now, take a look at these two figures And as I mentioned in the last video, they are the exact same figure, aside from the head, and the knee pads, and the elbow pads. And even to add to that, here is Bone Collector, and once again, he is the same. Okay? He is the exact same as Condor. And that means that these figures are the exact same figures as the $22 figures that are the base model that only give you hands that you can order from Big Bad Toys and also from Valaverse. You need the weapons accessory pack. So, to me, I understand people are trying to say, hey, you know what, you're getting so much more, but at the same time, they're using the same mold. Now, I'm not going to complain too much because as I compare them to a G.I. Joe Classified, we're in the beachhead here, you can see they fit pretty good together. Now, anyone that sees any of my other videos would know that I have compared them in beachhead, uses a lot of the same parts as Duke and Flint and the Cobra Trooper and Major Blood. On and on, I can go on and on. But paint apps, for the most part, will change things, okay? So, when you look at these two, you don't see that it's the same figure, though everything is the exact same, other than those few things that I pointed out, being the head, elbow, and knee pads. But paint apps change a lot. Now, looking at this mask here, I really do like it. I do like it better than the face of Condor that I recently did. And you can see they did a really nice job. Here you have a belt buckle that has a different color. There's different colors on your vest and everything. So, that's your Steel Brigade. I mean, he is a nice looking figure. Oh, hands. Loads and loads and loads of hands. But you better warm these things up because these things are going to break off. Another thing is, so here's a fist hand, all right? There's a fist hand. If I want to bend this thing, I'm putting force on it to try and bend it. I'm going to snap this off. You better heat these things up like crazy. So, to me, that's very disappointing that they're that stiff. I mean, stiff to the point where I feel like they're going to snap. So, what we do have here, though, is we have the trigger finger, which I really do like the trigger finger. Almost all the Joes have trigger fingers. They give you a fist, right? Which is cool. If you want to have punching, so you get two fists. Here you have one if you're holding something, holding a knife, something like that. And then this is the hand that I absolutely do love, is a cupping hand. So if you're holding a weapon, a rifle, like this, I actually did not use it with the Condor because his weapon has a handle for it. You can cup underneath here, and why no one else has really done this, that I don't understand. So that just looks awesome. Like you pose your figure like that, and to me, that looks awesome. You're not trying to pry the hand open. Not that you're gonna be able to pry these open. Another thing that I noticed, and I will actually go over this when I get into the weapons, is they talked and they boast about their weapons and how they're not the soft plastic like G.I. Joe uses or Hasbro. And they are correct. But these ones are stiff. And when I break them down, I will show you how one of these actually broke when they fell onto the ground. My original ones. And these don't seem any different. So you do have to be careful with these. Now, I haven't had any issues putting them in any of the figures that I put them in so far. But these are some brittle guns that if you bend too much, they will snap. Not bend, just snap. And we've seen that happen online. I think people have been a little overboard with it, to be honest. So, but anyway, there's your Steel Brigade. Let's wrap it up. All right, so there you go. That is your Steel Brigade. So your Valaverse Action Force Steel Brigade. I've seen 5 figures. I have 5 figures out here. I've gone over the second one. This is my favorite figure. Condor was the one that I really wanted. I have no attachment to Steel Brigade. As like I said, I never had them as a kid, which is kind of odd considering how spoiled I was and everything that I had. But I never had one. So I didn't have an attachment to have him. But this figure in hand is really nice. And I do think that you can either use him as a specific figure called Steel Brigade, or you could army build them. Where you can army build them to just have an army of them with your G.I. Joe classified. Or if you're not a G.I. Joe fan, you're a military fan, or you're an Action Force fan, and that's what you want to go with, but you can have these guys built also. Now again, he also has different typical figures, but the base is the exact same other than the head. No weapons. Buy the weapons pack. The weapons pack have more than enough weapons. So if you don't like your G.I. Joe classified and you want to order weapons, you can order weapons, and they're not too much. That is the one thing I will say that I really like about it. So, again, here's my beachhead. Here's my beachhead. You can see the two combined. And again, you look at my beachhead, and I'm actually having it. He actually has one of the prototype pack. Prototype weapons. And all that was is they were just all black. They look much better than the Nerf guns that Hasbro was giving us in the beginning. But there's what a Steel Brigade looks like in your classified line. A little bit taller. But again, with these figures, they're all going to be the exact same height. Because once again, Condor is the same mold. And Bone Collector is the same mold. So it is $31. You're getting a good amount of, you are getting a good amount of stuff for it. At the same time, they're doing a good job of getting a lot out of their mold, which is good for everyone. Because hopefully that means that they're going to put more effort and more time into the next figures that are coming, which they do have Series 2A and Series 2B out right now. Not out, up for pre-order. So, anyway, there you go. That is your Steel Brigade Valaverse Action Force figure with assault rifle and grenade launcher, his sidearm, which fits in really nicely. Has a nice little pop when it goes in. Oh, he also has the knife on the back. Forgot to mention that. That slides right in. And then lots and lots of hands. But again, it's a figure. Drop them in hot water for about 1 minute. Pull them out. Move the joints around. Elbow joints the most. Elbow and knee joints the most. And pop those hands off. And I think that if you have different heads, you're going to want to change them. Again, I didn't put the alternate head on Condor. Unfortunately, I don't even want to try and push it on there. It doesn't feel like it's going on. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Action Force, Steel Brigade. I was trying not to cough. I can feel the itch. I was fighting it, so I apologize for that. Anyway, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Follow the channel. I appreciate it. Again, these aren't my toys. Thank you to Greg for lending these to me to do reviews, to see if I want to actually purchase them. Again, this is a $32 figure. I want to be open and honest with everyone on these because I don't think we've got a full honesty on how great they are. They are nice figures. It's a heavier plastic. So, it's up to you, but here's what they look like. You have to soak them in hot water. You have to soak them like they're a NECA figure. I'm sorry to say that. People don't want to hear that, but it's true. Anyway, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Smash the like button. Follow the channel. Instagram, A Punk With Toys. And I'm going to get out of here and finish watching Mission get their asses handed to them because what's new? Have a great night.